Okay, it's time for more minesweeper. So we were working on the 7x7, the 7 plus gallery. I guess we'll just keep going. I think I kind of ended abruptly last time, but that's okay. We have 5 more to go before we finish the first half of combined. And then we'll move on to the second half, I guess. So yeah, connected area. Okay, area means that. Area means that. Connected 1 just means all mines are connected orthogonally or diagonally. Okay. I guess maybe if you had a mine here, how could this mine escape? Well, I'm not sure it could escape this way. I'm not sure it could escape this way either. Actually, it could. If it escaped this way, it either grows out or it adds on to the 2 like this. If it escaped this way, then that is actually all the 2 can hold. And it has to keep going, which is possible. But basically means that this has to be a mine. If it went this way to try and escape instead, it just gets blocked in. Maybe it's this mine that can't escape? Yeah, because it has to escape by either going here or here. And then wherever you put your next mine here for the escape, it's going to grow to above 2. So this can't be a mine. 1, okay. Well, again, whichever is a mine must grow out this way. Same for this, growing out this way. And actually, in this case, it has to specifically be here, because this doesn't work. Actually, because it's a 1 area, you have to either have this or this, and the escape has to be diagonal, which means that exactly one of these are mines as well, which can't grow because I already completed the area of 2. This is an area of 1, so this is immediately just an area of 3, I think. Which needs to touch an area of 4. I guess this can't be a mine. Well, it could be, yeah. Because it touches an area of 3. If this were a mine, this has to be empty. This would be an area of 5, which fails, so this can't be a mine. 6 and 7. Sure. If this is empty, this has to grow. This 6 can no longer touch an area of 6. It only touches an area of 5. So this happens. This is an area of 4. Maybe this is an area of 1. This is an area of 5 so far, so it must grow by another area of 1. Okay. This is an area of 3. I mean, this 7, we just know it's an area of 4 plus 3, so these are both mines. This area of 4 has to grow to exactly that cell, and that's it. This area of 3 must grow at least this far, so that can't be a mine, which means now we know that the escape has to occur like this. This 3, it can be done. This 1 is done. This 0 is done. This 4 just means that it has to touch this area of 4. We have 1 mine remaining, which must be connected to this area of 3, so that's empty. And by connected, this can't be empty. Okay. A surprisingly tame area puzzle. I'll take it. I'll take it over nothing. I don't think it's not too dark, right? The purple. I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Okay. That was really weird. Yeah, my mic experienced some weird issues, but I guess I fixed it. OBS seems to think I fixed it. Okay, so yeah, I was gonna introduce the music that we were listening to today. It's just a medieval lo-fi playlist. It's kind of nice. I like the medieval music. Anywho, let's continue. Okay, triplet lyre. One triplet. Okay, so 0 and 2 can't both be telling the truth. So in fact, one of them is lying, and they differ by 1. So whether this is 1 and this is 2, or whether this is 1 and this is 0, the outsides remain the same. These are always empty, and this is always a mine. Okay. The 3, if true, will definitely make 0 lying, so one of them are lying, as per usual. And in fact, we can do the exact same thing. Either way, the outsides are the same, as if, you know, you had just the correct values in. It's either 1, 3 or 0, 2, and either way, this always has 2 more than this. So this one is lying. Okay. So there's one mine here, I guess. This one is already done. There's one mine here for the 2. So it's like this by your regular minesweeper. 5 and 4. If 5 was telling the truth, it can't be these 3 that are mines. You have to have mines here, here, and here. And 2 mines here, which have to be here and here. Don't see anything super wrong with it. Okay. This 3 is telling the truth. You can only have 1 mine here. Doesn't really help. Okay. I feel like, okay, one of these are telling the truth, right? If the 4 is telling the truth, since you can only have 2 mines here at most, you must have another mine here. If this 5 is telling the truth, then again, since you can only have 2 mines here, these 3 have to be mines. So the commonality is that this is always a mine. Okay, that's good. That solves that. That solves that. That solves this. So in fact, this 5 can't be telling the truth, because you get this. So 5 is lying. These are both mines. That's empty. That's a mine. This 2 is lying. This is empty by triplet. That's a mine. That's a mine. That's empty by triplet. This 2 is telling the truth, so that's a mine. That's empty by triplet. This 3 is telling the truth. There's only like 1 mine out of all of these. So is this 3. Since there's only 1 mine in here, you must have both of these be mines. And exactly 1 of these are mines. So that will complete the 3. This 4 is definitely lying. That's a mine. This 2 is done. So 2 liars of this. This must be a mine. And 2 mines remain. One of them is here. It can't be this one because of triplet. So it's here and here. Cool. Alright. 46. Hopefully I didn't go through any duplicates while I was here. OX, DD, and SP. Sure. Okay, we'll do OX. Connected and cross. Sorry, outside and cross. Okay. Well, 0, 2 can be done in a few ways. It could either be 2 light and 0 dark, or it could be 2 dark and 0 light. But in the case of 2 dark, 0 light, there is a specific configuration. It can't be this being mine, because wherever you put your second mine, you form a checkerboard pattern, basically. So this has to be empty in both cases. By typical minesweeper, that's not, you know, that's not. Yeah. Okay, so this now can't be 2 light mines, because this mine has to escape somewhere, and in doing so, will result in 2 mines of different colors around this clue, which fails. So it has to be 2 dark mines. This is either 2 light mines, which is automatically a checkerboard pattern, or it has to be 2 dark mines, which it is. We can have a very similar situation for this 0-2 as this 0-2. It's kind of along an edge here. So, you know, by the exact same deductions, I'm pretty sure this is not a mine. Yeah. In fact, there's some number of mines here, right? Which means this 0-2 must just be 2 dark mines. Yeah. Okay, 1-1 is that. This has to escape. That completes the 1-1. This 1-1 can be easily completed. 0-2 is trivial. That's empty. So by checkerboard, that's empty. But checkerboard again, that's a mine. You also need this mine to escape, so there's a mine here. 0-1 is done. 0-1 can be done. But if this were a mine, it has to escape, which breaks the 0-1. So it's this. 0-1 here would complete this 1-1. But checkerboard, that's empty, that's a mine. 1-3 is trivial. Yeah, because you can only have 3 dark mines, that's empty. And that's it, everything else is a mine. Sure. I'll take it. It's a very weird ending, but sure. Alright, moving on. Dual deviation. Okay. That's a mine. This is empty. This must be empty because this must escape in one of the 2 directions. Empty. Okay. This one can't have its mine be trapped inside without being able to grow, so these are both empty. For the exact same reason, this is also not a mine. I don't think this can be a mine actually. They are both part of these ones, so both of these are now empty as a result. And this one hasn't been made into a dual, so this can't be a mine. 3. Sure. 3 can be fulfilled in multiple different ways, but I do notice that. What do I notice? I kind of noticed that it has to escape. Like, it has to have 1 pair of mines plus perhaps another pair that escapes its radius. Or it could also be 3 mines that each escape its radius, but I don't think it's possible in this case. You only do it in 3 places, and this place is not possible because of this mine. But you can escape the radius in a few different ways. You can escape here, here, or here. So like, you know, potentially this is valid. Potentially, you know, something like this is valid. I guess one of these are mines, maybe, which is the whole problem. But then again, something like this could still be valid, you know? Lots of options here. Maybe... I don't know, something like this is valid. Lots of things are valid. If this is empty, is it possible to fulfill this 3? Yeah, again, as I said, something like this is valid. If this is a mine, it grows out this way. Can this ever be a mine, maybe? If this is a mine... Sorry, if this is a mine, then we know the configuration we talked about is basically impossible because it isolates it. So this is the configuration that must exist. That will in fact force us to go this way. Is the 3... The 3 is now uncompletable. There you go. So this can't be a mine. Sure. So notice 3 really only does have 1 way out with its with the mine that isn't part of a pair within this radius. It has to be a mine here. So that completes this one. This has to go outwards. This 2 is done. This 1 can be done. That completes the 3. 1 means that's a mine that's empty. 3 can be done. That's empty. That's empty. That's a mine which must grow. This 3... Well, one of these are mines which will complete the 3. So that's empty. That's a mine that's empty. 4 means that's a mine that's empty. 4 means that's empty. That's empty. And the last 2 mines are here. Cool. Never actually really seen the clue like this work this way before. Where there is only 1 out for your for the mine that isn't part of the same pair within this 3. That's kind of nice. Alright, and the last one, snake product, SP. Okay, so these are both mines. This can't be empty, otherwise the ends of the snakes are on the same parity, which doesn't work. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what the... Oh, it's not. Okay. What about now? There, parity. Okay. So these are both mines just purely by these clues. These are both mines. This is a mine. These are both empty because the snake can't branch. Now we're stuck. Okay. Well, does this thing have to exit this way? If it doesn't exit this way, then it must exit this way. It must exit this way. Seems completely fine to me. If it's the other way around. Not entirely sure. I mean, anything can happen at this point. I wonder what happens to this mine though. This could be a dead end for all I know, obviously. You know, you could have this very long thing just come in and dead end here. Or if it did pass through, I mean, there are a few ways you could do it as well. Lots of ways you could do it. I guess if it did pass through, we'll have to walk through this. Which, I don't know if that's really a thing. Yeah, there's always a possibility. This doesn't have to be a dead end, I guess. There is no forced dead end here yet. Okay. I think this route 2 is super important, but I can't tell why. If this is a mine... What can I say? I don't know, if this is a mine, maybe that's something more interesting. This now can't really go out this way, because you have both of these being mines, so you need to escape out this way. But that doesn't really quite tell me anything. Again, parity still isn't confirmed, because either of these could be mines. I guess we do know there's a dead end in here somewhere. So there's a dead end here somewhere. This mine now can't dead end. In fact, I think it's kind of important you don't dead end up here either. Although I'm not entirely sure that's... It's I think something you could avoid, just skipping all of these. But I'm pretty sure maybe like by mine count this doesn't work. If you instead walk through here, there are still multiple ways to do it. Yeah, I'm a little bit stumped on this one. Is it possible that both of these being empty creates a contradiction? There's a dead end here and a dead end here. Yeah, because you either end in this cul-de-sac or this cul-de-sac. Is that the right word? I don't know. So you have to go through here, you have to walk through here, which means one entrance here, one exit here. But once again, this still looks very much possible. Maybe unlikely, but possible. I guess maybe it means you just cannot enter here then? Yeah, okay, then like by contradiction, just following that you can't enter here as well. Because we already have the two dead ends, this can't be a dead end. It's contradiction, this route doesn't have something that's one away. So this has to be empty in all cases. That is so scuffed. I can't believe, yeah, that's probably actually what I do, because it really only uses 2 clues, I think. Oh, yeah. Horrible. It's horrible. Anyway, so that's empty, and one of these are mines, once again. Can we prove that maybe this isn't a mine now? It's a dead end, it's a very suspicious dead end. I have no idea how this snake is actually gonna work. You have like loop around or something like this. I'm pretty sure this is not a mine. Okay. Can the snake go through here? Actually, no. If this is a mine and this isn't, you can't really like loop around here. Once again, dead end here seems quite unlikely, so you have kind of to walk through this, which also seems unlikely because then you have to do something like this, which I think is actually possible this time. So I think this actually can be a mine, but just to check. Yeah, see, it can. Again, the snake goes like this. I don't know where to start with this one. We know this is empty. We know this is empty. This is a mine, this is empty, dead end goes here, this has to... I think it's not impossible for you to walk through here. Yeah, because if you walk through here, this has to be looking like this, and you have to go here, so that breaks this route too. That means you have to walk through here. This thing has to go through here, to go through here. It's actually still really easy to fulfill this route too, like this. I'm fairly certain this doesn't break the mine count. So like something like this is completely valid. So unfortunately I think it's possible. If this is empty... No, we already figured this out. It says that the mine here is possible. So this could be empty. if this is a mine. Or maybe if these are both, like maybe if this is empty, forcing this to be a dead end. I mean, we can't really figure that's like kind of valid, I would say. You know, you could do something like this maybe. That looks completely fine. Maybe this being a mine is therefore invalid. Yeah, because you have dead end here, dead end here. This straight up can't be a dead end. And like, I'm fairly certain this breaks somewhere. I don't think this can be a mine. Sure, I guess. Okay, route 10. Well, one away basically just isolates itself. So that breaks. This also isolates itself. This must be a route 2 by route 5 now. One of these are mine, so that is the route 2 part. This is empty, therefore. This being a mine isolates itself, so this can't be a mine. This is a mine. It actually is a dead end. This route 2 is now route 2 by 2. If this is a mine going out here, I'm pretty sure this dead end just straight up fails. Although potentially, no, yeah, you can't go this way because that breaks this route 2. So I don't think this can be a mine. This route 2, I believe, can't have a mine here. So that's forced. This is empty. This is empty. Okay, that's false. Alright. We have both our dead ends. That's empty. This has to crawl up this way. This is empty. This has to go outwards. This is not a dead end. Okay, this has to go outwards. This has to be empty. This has to be a mine. This has to grow. That's it. Wow. That was an insane puzzle. Yeah, Snake is kind of brutal like that as well. As much as I really like Snake. Again, brutal. But hey, that's it. We've completed let's see, completed all 49 puzzles in 1+2, 7x7. Is it 1+2 or 2+1? It's 1+2. Very nice. A full board. Let me go put that down in my tracker. So 1+2 is 49 now. In the 7x7, the grid is filled. Alright. Let's start doing some of the other ones. The 2+1. Apparently, I didn't perfect one of these. I don't know which one it is. But hopefully we'll come across it again eventually. Alright, so connected lyre. Actually, I don't think we'll come across it eventually at all. We'll have to like go through the entire list again. Connected lyre. It's one of the ones I've completed, of course. I'm not sure if it will show me here. I don't think it does. Actually, it will, because I can just go through these one by one. What? Wait. I perfected all of these. Huh? Which one is the one I didn't perfect? So confused. Because apparently I didn't perfect one of them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 17. What? Are we looking at completely different boards here? Wait, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15. Oh. The 1 is referring to perfection, so it's one of the non... Okay, there you go. It's one of these. I'll look at the clear count, I guess. Ah, there it is. Bridge cross. Oh, I'm not doing this, I don't think. Should I? Will I ever get back to the one I didn't even perfect? I feel like there's like 100 of these. And like I'm being quite literal about the fact that there are 100 of these. Yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna get through all of them. It's fine, we'll come back to it eventually. Alright, let's just do this. Okay, so 2 connected now means mines are all connected but also rectangles. All mine groups are rectangles. And all of these are liars. So they're all off by exactly 1. This 4, for example, must be a 3 because it can't be a 5. It also can't be all 3 of these damn mines because it's not rectangular. This has to be a mine which must grow. This can't be a... she could be a 3. This goes to be a 1. This can't be a 3, this has to be a 1. Yes. So in fact, this can't be a mine. Otherwise, it can never go outwards. 0 is a 1. We know there's one mine here, so that's empty. 2 is a 1, so that's empty. That must grow. Oh, it could go the other way, of course. So it could go this way or this way. This 2 has an even number of mines here. We know these two have an even difference. They could either differ by 0 or 2. And so if this set of cells is even, then this is also even, and the only way that would be possible is if it was 0. 6 is either a 5 or a 7. It clearly can't be a 7, because all of these can't all be mines. So it's a 5. It's a 5. So the idea is... well, how many mines can be here and how many mines can be here? It's 2 at most for each, so this is a mine. Okay. That doesn't really help me out. Not sure. There's only one mine here. But there are a few ways you could do. You could do a lot of different things. If this is a mine, then this is also a mine. But I will like to emphasize the fact that this is entirely possible. Could have this with this. Could have this with this. Could have, like something like that. Maybe. Actually, that's probably not true. Actually, that is true. That's valid. Okay. Not sure though. Okay, I do know that this can't be a mine though, because either this is a mine to complete this 4, making these both empty, or this is a mine, and because this is empty, this also has to be empty. So this is always empty. Cool. And this one is a 2, with one mine here makes these both empty. Okay. These differ by an odd amount. So there's one mine here. So for the 5, the rest are mines. Okay. This 2 is a 3 therefore, so that's a mine. This can't be a mine by non-rectangular. This is a mine. This has to be empty, so that completes this rectangle. This is a mine, therefore that happens. So yeah, as I predicted, this 4 is either a 3 or a 5, but we don't know. This 4 is either a 3 or a 5. I'm very certain it's a... Actually, can it be a 3? I think it could. It could be a 3, or it could be a 5, but the only way for 5 to be possible if it were a mine here and mine here. A mine here would completely break, so this can't be a mine. Okay. I don't think this can be a 5 anymore, because that overloads this 3 entirely. So this is just a 3. That's a mine. This is a 4, so that's a mine. This is complete, that's a mine, that's empty. Sorry, did I say that's a mine? This is the one that's empty. Okay, this is a rectangle which can't grow. This 4 is a 3 therefore, so that's empty. This 5 is a 4, which is done. 5 mines remain. I feel like there's some maximization problem. Like if this didn't go this way, then obviously this 4 has to be a 5 firstly. You have mines here and here. You have 3 mines remaining, which I guess technically is possible. Oh, okay. But by connected, this group has connected this group, so this is a mine, it's empty. Okay. Now if this grew, that wouldn't work, because this 4 now must be a 3, so this is empty, and you only have used 2 mines instead of 3. So this can't actually grow, and now all these are mines. Nice. Okay. Sure, I'll take that. It's actually not bad. I like the puzzle. Alright, let's continue. Segment negation. Segment means every row has exactly one group of mines in it. So for example, in row 7, there's exactly one mine here. It's either this segment or this segment. That already produces one dark mine for this 1. So this is equivalent to 0. The 0 and 1 differ by a bit, so this has to be a mine. And in fact, I know this now can't be a mine. If it did, it goes all the way across. These 3 are all mines, and along with whoever mine is here, would break this 1. So this can't be a mine. 2. Okay. Well, is it possible for this to occur? Yes. Okay. Is it possible for... Well, if there was one mine here, this has to be equivalent to 0. For this to be equivalent to 0, this 1 has to have this be empty for it to be equivalent to 1. That will complete this, which means these are both empty. This 2 is done. This is empty. Okay, I'm sure that means something. That means if there were one mine here, it has to be this one. Okay, so this is always a mine, I think. This is always empty, therefore. This is equivalent to 0. So for this 1, this has to be a mine. For this 1, this has to be a mine. Therefore, that's a mine. This 2 is now done. 0 needs a light mine to balance. This 0 now needs a dark mine to balance. And by segment, everything in this row is no longer mine. You either have 2 mines here or 2 mines here for this 2, and either way, that would have to connect to this mine here. Okay. Oh, so this 2 is now 2 light mines, of course. This 0... There can't be mines here, because if that grew all the way back, this 0 is just not right anymore. In fact, so is the 1. The 1's also not right. So now this can be mines, and by the exact same logic, this can't be a mine. The 1s here must differ by a value of 0. So these 3 mines, these 3 cells total contain effectively a 0. That's not a mine, therefore. Okay, this 0 means that's empty, therefore that's empty as well. This 1 means there's something here, so by segment, these are both empty. And in fact, the 1 and 0 differ by exactly a value of 1, so this has a value of 1, meaning that's empty. Again, by segment, this is empty. Okay. There's some number of mines here. But if this were a mine, for example, then this 0 must be too light, too dark. And the only way to do that breaks the segment rule, so this can't be a mine. Okay. Again, some number of mines here. Actually, there are 8 total mines left. And we know there's exactly 0 or 2 mines. It can't be 0 mines, because that just breaks. You only have 7 mines left. Instead of 8. So these are both mines, firstly. Also, there must be an odd number of mines. It's either 1 mine or 3 mines. Again, 1 doesn't work, because you only have 5 mines total, so it must be all 3 of these being mines. And in fact, actually, just by segment, every mine has to be connected to this segment, so you can't just grow outwards like that. That's it. There you go. That's kind of cool. I kind of just rushed my way through the logic, so hopefully it wasn't too unreadable. It's okay. I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Alright, let's keep going. Group cross. Okay. Well, cross is 0 is easy, 0 is easy, 0 here is also easy. Gives us this being empty. One of these are mines, one of these are mines, one of these are mines. If this is empty, this is also empty. If this is a mine, then by this 1, this is also empty. The reason why if this is empty, this is empty is because if this is empty, this 1 can't have a mine here, otherwise it has to grow, which breaks the 1. So if empty, empty. If mine, also empty. Therefore, this is always empty. Therefore, this is always a mine, which completes this 1. This 1 can be completed, which must grow. This now can't be a mine. This now can't be a mine either. Yeah, so this can't be a mine. Well, these are mines, which complete this group of 4. That's empty. This 1 is done, so that's a mine. Okay, 2 could have both of these being mines, actually. That's entirely fine. This mine has to go outwards. This now can't be a mine. One of these are mines, but this can't be the one that's a mine, because you have this, so this is a mine. These are empty. One of these are mines, I guess. One of these are also mines, I guess. So you kind of have to grow out like this, or like that. Okay. There are 4 groups of mines total. Okay. If it's this, a lot of things can happen. If it's this, maybe things are a little bit more restricted. Actually, this could be a mine. Oh, it sees a mine here already. Oh. So with the mine here, this 2 will be complete. These are both empty. 3 here. What are some number of mines here? If this is a mine, it has to go outwards. So this is always a mine. Okay. So I don't think this can be a mine anymore. I think it still can. You know, I have this. I guess it actually might break. Yeah, this will break. This 4th group here will break 3. So this can't be a mine. This has to be a mine, which has to go like that. That's empty. This 3 is now complete. There you go. Okay. Pretty quick. Group is okay, I guess. I mean, group and cross is very similar to just regular group. Um, I don't know why, but sometimes combine just makes things a bit easier for you. Not sure why, it just is. Alright, flowers partition. See if we can just run through this really quick. Don't, well, yes, you could have a mine there. 3 and 2. 3 and 2, I think, implies that there must be... Is this possible? Actually, okay, let's think about if there were a mine here. The 1 would be done. The 2 would have 1 mine here, which would make the 3. So this can't be a mine. 0. Some number of mines here. If this were empty, mine for the 3 just breaks. Because the 1 is not broken, so this has to be a mine. So this 2 requires its second partition be here. I think that means this 2 has to have a mine here as well. If empty, mine. I guess by flower, you could say that. Empty, mine, empty. This 2 has to have a mine here, which breaks flower. So this has to be a mine, which has to grow. If this is a mine, this is just empty by default. And I think that breaks. Because this 2 must be done like that. This 2 just breaks. Yeah, this just can't be a mine. Some number of mines here means... something. I think this is always a mine. If it's empty, this is a mine which breaks flower. So this is always a mine. This has to go this way. This 2 is now done like so. 3 must have its second partition be here. So it must have something here, I guess. And this now can't be a mine, because it either grows all the way here, which breaks this cell, or it grows all the way here, which breaks this cell. Sure, so these are both mines. This has to grow. Some number of mines here has to be connected to this by partition, so that's a mine. Now that's empty and empty. By flower, by the way. Okay. Some number of mines here. Actually, in fact, it is possible that none of these are mines. I'm okay with that. In fact, if this is a mine, it has to go all the way here, which is impossible. Same for this cell, so these are both empty. 1 means that's empty. Also, if this is a mine, it has to go this way, which breaks. 3 is obvious. This now can't be a mine. 3 is now obvious here. That's to grow. I think any of these can be mines, so I have to use minecom for that. This now can't be a mine, so we're done. Okay. Sure. Don't know if I like that logic a lot, but I'll take it. Alright, guess we'll keep going. Maybe one more. Oh, bridge eyesight. I don't know if I should have done this or not. Bridge is like this game's infamous... Yeah, bridge and area are this game's infamous variants. Back in the first game, the infamous variant was eyesight. This is very infamous for being unlike any other minesweeper clue you've ever seen before. I think the other one that gave me trouble was negation. But at least the area that it sees is kind of still around the clue. Eyesight is not even about what it sees anymore. It's about well, it is about what it sees, but what it sees is different all the time. So like E is infamous for being difficult, and now we combine the two. So yeah. Okay. Well, 3 bridges. Like really, how do I even start? I don't even know how it would start. That cell. Okay. So if this is a mine, obviously the maximum it can grow is here and here. I suppose that would mean that this is empty, and this is empty, which breaks 3. So this is not a mine. Sure. Okay. Now, if this is a mine, these are both empty, which fail, so this can't be a mine. That's a little bit easier. If this is a mine, this has to be empty. Okay. If this is a mine, this has to be a mine. I don't know about that. This looks okay. Maybe it breaks, maybe it doesn't. Okay, if this is a mine... Sorry, if this were the mine, you get this. This 3, I don't actually know how this is gonna work. This mine could be part of this line or this line. This bridge. If this happened to be empty, I think that breaks because this mine can't go anywhere. So this has to be another mine. Which has actually come from here now. So in fact, these are both empty as a result. And now this really does have to go this way. I think this is fine though, right? There's no contradiction here. I suppose because you can only have one empty cell here, this has to be empty this way. Maybe this can't be a mine, because if it was, you go here, empty, 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 mine, mine. This still looks somewhat plausible though. Maybe if this were a mine, then you only have one mine here, which breaks a lot of stuff maybe? Because like, you're forcing this to go here, this to go here. This has to be empty immediately. This being a mine going backwards is bad. And now this is empty. Empty. This can't be empty. This surprisingly looks perfectly fine. Okay, I bite. What do I need to do here? Oh, I was right about that though. So apparently that doesn't work. So again, if this is a mine, this is empty. Now this can't be a mine because growing backwards, it will block this 2. So it does complete the 2. This has to be empty. Now this has to be empty as well. This can't be empty because you have to have a mine here which doesn't grow anywhere. So this is a mine, making that empty. Oh, this mine can't go anywhere. Oh. Sure. Yeah, okay, fine, I guess. It's kind of whack, but okay. So basically, this is the first bridge. I feel like if you had a mine here, here, and here, that breaks things also. It has to be part of your second bridge, obviously. Now this can't be a mine for the same reason. Isn't that identical, I think? I think this can't be a mine, this can't be a mine. Oh, it can. Oh, it could be a growth of this, yeah. But this can't be a mine because going backwards gives you the exact same deduction. Okay, so this can't be a mine, this can't be a mine. And so you have this one over here, you have this one that grows in some way or another and it ends up this way. This could go out this way, this could go out this way, we don't actually know. But if this went this way, we might have an issue. If this is a mine, you're forced to do this and this, which is actually the exact same thing. You can't have a mine here, empty cell, and then you know, you end up with a mine here that can't go backwards. So again, I don't think this can be a mine. I was right. Okay, okay, okay. So now can this be a mine? No. Well, actually yes. I think it can. Can this be a mine? Empty, empty. Empty, empty, no. Okay, so this can't be a mine. Okay, 2 is done. 3 is done. 6 can be done. Thank goodness. Okay, this has to go upwards. This has to be empty. These 2 can at most go down here. So these are all empty. This is now empty. This now can't be a mine because I will completely isolate things. Okay, we can solve that. Alright, and now it's down to this 4 clue. If this went this way and this way, mine's here and here, empty. I don't think this can go this way. If I think the 4 just breaks at that point. Because this has to be empty. Mine's here and here just breaks the 4, yeah. Well, I guess what you could say is that in column F, because there are 2 mines, the most that the 4 can see vertically is 2 cells. It can see itself plus 1 empty cell. That's it. So horizontally, it must see 2 more. So these are both empty, I think. Yeah, okay. Sure, I'm happy with that deduction. That's not a bad deduction. There you go. Yeah, we kind of saved the solve at the end. Everything else collapsed very neatly. It was just the start with a 2 and a 3 clue that kind of just went horrible. I like that the same deduction can be used multiple times, though. It's very clean in that sense. Once you get the deduction, you can use it over and over again. Alright, I guess that's going to be it today. Well, I say today. I'm probably gonna upload maybe another video, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. I will see you guys all the next time I do this. Bye-bye.